7 of the fantasy baseball season. And here's a few pitches I would look to sell high and trade away this week. The first guy is Trevor Rogers of the Miami Marlins. So what a season so far here for Rogers. And he's been a definite fantasy surprise. He wasn't on the radar really going into fantasy drafts this offseason. And so far this season for Rogers, 44 innings, 5-2 record, 30 hits given up, 9 earned runs, 2 homers, 17 walks, 57 strikeouts, a 1.84 ERA, and a 1.07 whip with 4 quality starts. So Rogers, he's keeping the ball in the ballpark, obviously, only giving up 2 home runs this season. He's keeping it down, and his strikeout rate is totally high with 57 in 44 innings right now. So Rogers, he's going only 5 or 6 innings, though. But this Marlin team, they've been holding leads for him, and they've been scoring for him. But the problem with him is that this Marlin team, I don't think it's sustainable, especially in this NL East, for Rogers to have a big winning season and a low ERA under 2 like it is right now. And we'll see today versus the Philadelphia Phillies if Trevor Rogers is going to get things going, because this is going to be a tough matchup. And he's had a couple decent matchups over the last couple games that definitely put his stats up there to lower the ERA. So the last few outings here for Rogers, May 2nd at Washington, 5 innings, got the loss, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, a homer, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts, a 5.40 ERA, and a 1.40 whip. Then May 7th versus Milwaukee, 5 innings, got the win, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 6 Ks, a 1.80 ERA, and a 1.20 whip. And then his latest outing at a weak Arizona Diamondback offense, 6 innings, got the win, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 7 Ks, a 1.5 ERA, a 1 whip, and a quality start. So Rogers, he's taking advantage for the most part of the easy matchups this season, where he's versus Milwaukee twice. He versed a weak hitting team early in the season once, and also Arizona in his latest outing. So right now, I just don't believe Rogers is going to keep these numbers up, and it could get tougher for him starting today at Philly. So if the right deal's out there, you definitely sell him high. The next pitcher is Alex Wood of the San Francisco Giants. So this Giant pitching staff is something amazing so far here in the early going, between Alex Wood, between Anthony DeSclafani, and between Kevin Gorsman, who's also going to be on this list, and I'll talk about him later in this video here. But Alex Wood so far in the season, what a year it's been for him. 36 innings, 5-0 record, 25 hits, 7 earned runs, 2 homers given up, 9 walks, 35 strikeouts, an amazing 1.75 ERA, and an 0.94 whip with 4 quality starts. So we've seen throughout Wood's career, he's been a pretty good pitcher when he was on the Los Angeles Dodgers and the Braves earlier on. But right now, he's taken fantasy owners by storm. But he's another guy like Trevor Rogers, who's had a lot of easy matchups. And this Giant team, they're scoring this season, though. They're hitting for more power between guys like Brandon Belt and Brandon Crawford, who are really having good years in the power department for this Giant team. But right now, it's just been too many easy outings here for Wood, and it's going to get tougher for him as well. So right now, before the tough outings come versus tougher and stronger offenses, I would definitely sell him high. No way the ERA for him as well is going to be under 2, and with the hot summer months coming up, some of these pitchers, they're going to start getting bombed, and those ERAs are going to go way up. So the last few outings here for Wood, May 10th versus Texas, 7 innings, got the win, 4 hits, an earned run, 3 walks, 7 Ks, a 1.29 ERA, and a 1 whip and a quality start. And then his latest outing at Pittsburgh, they had him on the ropes a little in that one, but just couldn't generate runs. 6 innings, got the win. He did give up 8 hits, 1 earned run, a walk, 6 Ks, a 1.5 ERA, 1.5 whip, and a quality start. So his next outing is versus the Los Angeles Dodgers in a couple days here on May 21st. And we'll see that's the true test. But right now, Wood, he's been getting out of jams a little, and he's had easy matchups. And I just don't believe this is going to continue. So if you could sell him off for a good hitter or something, this is the time to do it. The next pitcher is Lance Lynn of the Chicago White Sox. So Lance Lynn, I'm not going to lie, the last couple seasons, he's been a very solid pitcher. If it was at Texas or the Yankees, wherever he's been, because he's changed a lot of ball clubs. And obviously this season, he was traded in the offseason to the Chicago White Sox. And so far, 40 2/3, 4-1 record, 28 hits, 7 earned runs, 4 homers given up, 12 walks, 46 strikeouts, a 1.55 ERA, and a 0.98 whip with 3 quality starts. So right here, Lance Lynn, he's got the wins under his belt, and he's got the ERA, but he's only a guy going 5 or 6 innings a game right now. And I know early in the season he got a complete game shutout versus the Kansas City Royals, but right now he's a 5 or 6 inning pitcher. I know that AL Central is pretty weak, and they've been beating up on the bad teams right now is the White Sox, because their offense is pretty good this season, and they're scoring a lot of runs, even with Roberts and Eloy Jimenez out for most of the season here. So Lance Lynn, he's hitting the strike zone, he's getting the outs, and he's keeping the ball in the ballpark. But the last few outings for him, May 8th at Kansas City, 5 innings, got the win, a hit, 4 walks, 6 strikeouts, no runs given up, 1 whip, no quality start, obviously. May 13th versus Minnesota, 5 innings, got the win, 2 hits, 3 walks, 9 Ks, no earned runs, 1 whip. And then his latest outing in Minnesota, 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 homers given up, a walk, 2 Ks, a 3 ERA, and a 1 whip and a quality start. So right now, Lance Lynn, he's getting outs, but he's not going deep into games. He's only got 1 quality start as well in his last 4 outings, so that's obviously not good. And his next outing is going to be next week here for Lance Lynn. He gets to skip the Yankees, one of his former teams. But right now, this ERA is not sustainable. And a lot of guys on this list, their ERAs are under 2s or in the mid-2s here. So right here, I don't think he's going to be under a 2 this season. Maybe high 2s, early 3s he'll be in. Last season was a 3.32, where we saw him get off to a great start like he did this year. But like I said with other pitchers, the weather's going to get warmer. The matchups are going to get a little bit tougher. And I just think right now you could sell him off with this great ERA and get a good piece or 2 for Lance Lynn. The next pitcher is Freddy Peralta of the Milwaukee Brewers. So Peralta this season, he's finally panning out into a pitcher that I thought he would be many seasons ago when they called him up as one of their top prospects in the system. So far this year, 45 innings, 4-1 record for Peralta, 21 hits, 12 earned runs, 4 homers given up, 19 walks, and an amazing 69 strikeouts in 45 innings, a 2.40 ERA, and a 0.89 whip with 4 quality starts. So that ERA is still pretty solid here in the mid-2s. He only got bombed in 1 game early in the season here, is Peralta. And Peralta, he does have a good division on his side where there's not many great hitting ball clubs besides the Cincinnati Reds and maybe the Cardinals I'd give it to. The Cubs, they're up and down with their hitting, but right here for Peralta on the last couple games. May 11th, 7 innings versus the Cardinals, 1 hit baseball, 1 walk, 8 Ks, no earned runs, and 0.29 whip in a quality start. May 16th versus Atlanta, 6 innings, got the win there. 2 hits, 1 walk, 8 Ks, no runs, 0.50 whip in a quality start. So Peralta, he's hitting the strike zone. He's striking out batters at an amazing rate, almost a strikeout a half an inning right now. But his division, like I said, they got a couple good bopping teams. And his Milwaukee Brewer offense, they don't score that many runs, even though in his last outing they did score 10 runs. But besides that, this offense has been struggling for the most part of the season. And we'll see if Peralta could keep it up. His next outing's May 23rd at Cincinnati, but I just don't think he's going to keep it up. And I think he's a sell-high candidate, especially with that high strikeout rate and a 2.40 ERA in the 5th and final pitcher. I would look to sell high and trade away this week's Kevin Gorsman of the San Francisco Giants. Gorsman, he was a former top prospect many years ago for the Baltimore Orioles, and he's just another guy that didn't pan out over there, and he goes somewhere else and has success like Jake Arrieta did many years ago, going to the Cubs and then winning a Cy Young. But Gorsman, he's not on that level yet. But so far this season, what a season it's been for Gorsman. 3-0 record, 53 innings pitched, 33 hits, 11 earned runs, 4 homers given up, 12 walks, 59 strikeouts, a 1.84 ERA, and 0.84 whip in 77 quality starts at Gorsman. He's been the real deal, especially with these quality starts up there in the league leaderboard. Him and Kyle Gibson with 7 here. So Gorsman, he's going deep into ball games, and he's pitching well versus good hitting teams. We've seen him have 2 great games this season versus the San Diego Padres, who in my opinion are one of the best hitting ball clubs in all of Major League Baseball. And then he had a decent outing versus the Pirates in his last outing, but a tough luck lose. And the thing here, this Giant team, I know they've been off to a pretty good start this season, but I don't think they're going to sustain it. And these pitchers like DeSclafani, Kevin Gorsman, obviously, and Alex Wood, who I mentioned earlier in the video. No way these guys' ERAs are going to be this low and under the twos. And once they verse the Dodgers and the Padres more, it's going to be tougher. And plus going to Coors Field and the weather just getting nicer here. So Gorsman, the last two outings, May 8th versus San Diego, 6 innings, got the win, 3 hits, an earned run, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts, a 1.50 ERA, and an 0.67 whip in a quality start. And the May 14th at Pittsburgh, 8 innings, 5 hits, an earned run, 12 strikeouts, 1.13 ERA, 0.63 whip in a quality start. So right here, he's hitting the strike zone. He's getting good outs, but today he's got a pretty tough battle here, May 19th, at the Cincinnati Reds, a team that's just hitting and swinging for the fences. So we'll see what a tougher test here today if Gorsman could get things going. But right now, with the low ERA this season at a 1.84, he's definitely a sell-high candidate, because no way I think the numbers are sustainable, especially at this ERA rate, and plus that he's on a San Francisco Giant team that plays in a pretty tough NL West. So that's a few pitches I would look to sell high and trade away here in Week 7 of the fantasy baseball season.